Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Tristan Rallings, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Private Nargis Fatima. We warmly welcome the Honourable Darren Chester, Minister for Veterans Affairs and Defence Personnel, who is joining us here this evening. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of the ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of the more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Pilot Officer Edwin John Turk. Edwin John Turk was born on the 10th of August 1912 in Hillsville, Victoria, the eldest of 5 children born to Edwin and Edith Turk. In his teen, Turk served as a senior cadet in local militia force, and after schooling, he began work as a school teacher. He taught at Narkong State School in the far west of Victoria, then Yarrawalla South State School to the west of Chuka. He was an active member to the Nurkong Cricket Club. In August 1938, he married Evelyn Knight in Gorky, Victoria. The couple had one child together, Graham, born in September 1941. In October 1942, Edwin Turk traveled to Melbourne and enlisted in Royal Australian Air Force. His brother Alan also took part in the Second World War. He joined the Army and served in the 2nd/24th Battalion. After enlisting, Edwin John Turk trained at bases in Sells, Somers and Hills in Victoria and Mount Gambier in South Australia. In May 1943, he was granted a commission to become a pilot. On the 8th of November 1943, he joined No. 100 Squadron, which flew Beaufighter aircraft in the war against Japan in the Pacific. With this squadron, Turk participated in recon flights and bombing raids on Japanese positions in New Guinea and surrounding islands. In late November, he participated in a major bombing raid on the Japanese airfield at Gasmata in New Britain, and in early December, attacked on an important Japanese bridge over the Emjin River. A day after the attack on the bridge over the Emjin River, he transferred to No. 8 Squadron Royal Australian Air Force, where with this squadron, he continued to fly Beaufighter missions over the Pacific Islands, including attacks on Boro and the Japanese airfield at Lakanai near Rabaul. On Christmas Day, 1943, Turk served as navigator aboard Beaufighter A9-444 and took part in the 10 aircraft bombing raids on Japanese position near Rabaul. After successfully completing the raid, they returned to the airstrip at Vivigani on Goodenough Island shortly before 7 in the morning. Turk's Beaufighter made a normal circuit and approach to the strip, but as it came to land, it hit the ground hard and bounced roughly 20 feet into the air. The jolt from the bounce produced a heavy explosion on the aircraft's starboard side, possibly from an unreleased bomb. The explosion thrust the tail into the air and the back of the aircraft disintegrated. The nose, tail, and main fuselage crashed forward into a ball of flames, killing all 4 airmen aboard. They were Flying Officer Theodore Cleaning, Flying Officer Stanley Miller, Flying Sergeant Barry White, and Pilot Officer Edwin Turk. Turk was 31 years old and was survived by his wife and 2-year-old son. He is now buried in Bomana War Cemetery in Port Moresby, where over 3,800 service personnel of the Second World War now lie. His name is listed on the Roll of Honor on my left, among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph of the crew of Beaufighter A9-444 is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. Pilot Officer Edwin Turk is seen standing on the right-hand side of this image. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Pilot Officer Edwin John Turk, who gave his life for us, for our freedom, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age should not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of sun and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.